Okay, went to an estate sale and came home with all these guitars. Some I wanted just for some parts. The plate off the Geo, which I will have to manipulate just a little bit to fit on my Ibanez 350DX. It's the only reason I bought that. That was in a bucket marked parts. It looked good enough. It's a Lion by Washburn. I don't know much about the Lion or Leon or whatever by Washburn, but I'm going to check it out. We have some other very old, nice vintage acoustics here, all very jumbo size um, Western style. These, I guess, all came from, one person, and this is the most modern one. This is the Dimebag Darrell headstock. This is a Washburn. It's stamped inside, and it says Chicago, but I'm not sure because it looks too modern. Even the Chinese ones say Chicago, and it has this on there for the 12th fret marker. I'm gonna have to check that out. I do have another Washburn right over there, and it has totally different stampings, and that one is not from Chicago. So I'm definitely gonna look into this, but it looks modern to me. This is a guitar I have found. Somebody put stickers on it shaped like hearts, but this is actually a Regal. This is the Jumbo Regal. From what I can see online, gives a good bass tone, and the prices vary, and some of them very expensive. I have not found this particular model yet. It has this chrome plated steel bridge with some flathead screw nuts, and I'm not sure what kind of wood's on top. Very dark, almost like mahogany. The finish leaves something to be desired, but I know how to fix that. The kick plate or plate guard, flathead screws. It's very time dated. There's no stamp inside. I know who owned it last. It's actually engraved there, Dan Medeiros. I was the last owner. So it has real abalone, what do you call it? Fret markers. A white fresh rod cover, and this is the design of the headstock. And this headstock is larger than the ones I've seen online so far. Open gears on the back. Look how somebody did this. I guess their strings broke and they tied this. I've never seen that before. So this one here, I want to really get a price on. This one here, I believe also to be a Regal. Only this is a classical. Same situation. Different wood for the fretboard. Needs a nut. Original tuners are there. Everything. All the markings and everything else are typically the same, so that's why I'm thinking this is also a Regal, just the classical version. All of these great, more or less Western style guitars, jumbo size, white binding all the way around, up the neck, sometimes around the headboards. I have another one back here. I haven't identified yet. It's made in the USA, has a nice white binding all around. It's missing only its pick guard, which surprisingly, you don't see where the pick guard was. There's no fade for it. It's got very thick shellac on it, so I think that's why. These all have set-in strap pegs at the bottoms. They're very well made. They're spaced. They almost look like something Martin would do. I have this very, very old banjo here that the headstock somewhat resembles a Gibson, except for with the Gibson, this would be like a cut in and down right here, but everything else is the same. This is leaning backward. You have your point, you have your other 2 points, and then you go into this Jessica Rabbit shape here. It's just, it's curvy, it's round. Um, I did find a patent number on the bridge. You won't be able to see it, but this is what the bridge looks like. And it says patent number 487, and I tried to look online and describe it as what looks like a hand claw bridge. This is probably 1920s and 1930s. So I did not find anything even using that patent number. I looked all around the bodies on these for more information. There is no other markings. I have this one here with this style headstock. This is another open back 5-string. It's all wood inside there, and then and when I remove the lid there, you can see how shiny it can actually be if you were to remove the patina. First, I want to find out what they are. Both backs are similar. You have this kind of V to the neck. But I would guess, I'm sorry, I think this older one is 1930s, and I believe this one here somewhere in the 1920s. If you know anything about banjos, I'm really needing some identification, because before I work on any instrument, I need to know what I have. If I should put aftermarket similar parts, save as many as the original as I can, or whatever, based for value. But usually when they're this old, it doesn't matter. If you get them playable, you're doing something. So yeah, this one was just something made by Washburn I got for parts. This, I only want it for the kick plate, and taking that off, and I'm going to sell it to somebody and say, hey, I need the kick plate. It's just a Geo. But that kick plate, I'm going to try to use either on my 350DX or one of my other gems, where I just think the black color will look better. Screw holes all match up. Everything matches up. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the width of the plastic that's between the bridge and the bridge pickup. I may have to shave down a little bit, which might leave me a little gap. I'm going to stick some foam in there, though, right onto the cloth that holds the magnet, and I've done that before, cover it up. So that was just another one I grabbed, because this guy had about, I don't know, 90 guitars in his basement. Yeah, we did it safe, by appointment, social distancing, and all that good stuff. I picked through them and tried to pick out the ones I thought were the most pristine, and the ones that would probably hold the most value or were the most interesting to me. And this jumbo Regal here, I really just liked that it was so different. And then some of these I've said, if nothing else, I'll just take hardware from. But right now I'm at the point of just trying to identify the acoustics more than anything, and these two very, very old banjos. I own banjos. I have not seen anything quite like this. I've seen a Gibson headstock that looks exactly like that, just one curve off. So I don't know what I have here. It could be anything. It could be a Maybell. It could be a, what do they call that? The K banjos, the old ones. These are just tin. And with wood inside, and no metal spring rods like a modern one. And these are open back. There were no resonators. This one, the fretboard is ebony. The face was painted black. At one point, probably had a design on it. It's down to the primer now. And this one here, I don't know what kind of wood the fretboard is, but it was painted black, and it is not ebony. It has this rounded kind of headstock. I just spent like half an hour online trying to research this. So this is what I do. You know, I go to estate sales, I get these project guitars, and that's how I wind up with my good ones, you know, which are all over my home. And, you know, I have them pretty much everywhere, you know, instruments all over my home. Anyway, but, you know, I sell the ones I don't really need or care for, and then some I sell just to make a good profit, and others I restore to keep. These I'm looking at this one particularly, and I'm thinking I want to restore and keep. That's going to be a lot of work though. And that one there, I've seen prices from $500 to $4,000, and they all look similar, but I've not seen one with the same bridge. If anybody can help me, it's Red Roadie from Build and Play. I really appreciate it if you can help me identify maybe the model number of this Regal. And one thing I love about this headstock is how 3D it is. So this is actually a lip here. Inside that's a little groove, so it was like routed out, obviously. Open back gears. So I put a sticker on there that says Nashville, what does it say? Nashville Straits, acoustic and electric guitar strings made in USA. Okay. And, oops. Okay. And this doesn't have any stripes on the back. I think somebody put that there that don't look factory to me. That's somebody's homemade version of a strap lock there. That's what I believe. So yeah, the guy was asking quite a bit for this lot of guitars, but as always, I play American pickers with them, and I throw them all in one corner, and I'm like, okay, that one needs some binding, that one needs a neck reset, that one needs this one needs that. What if I throw a number at you for all of them? And walked away and getting all of these for the price of probably what one of them would cost. Not even that. So, and then I do have another neck back there too that I'm going to be using to repair some damage to another headstock here. And then I have my parts laid out all over my kitchen table right now. But these particularly, more than anything, I want to identify and the model of this Regal. I found the Jumbo Regal. It looks almost identical, even the shape of the bridge, but it's not metal as this one is. They don't have screws through the pick guard like this one does. These are flathead screws. They don't have the exact same tuners, but the headstock and everything else is virtually the same. Totally different bridge setup there, but more or less the same guitar. So if you can help me identify that model, I'd be grateful. And then this one I believe to be from the same company. Just by the way they're built inside, I kind of know a little bit about how to build these things. I do it. So they just look so similar. I believe that the same company, only this one is a classical, different kind of wood on the fretboard. So Red Roadie asks your help if you can help me identify these instruments. I mean, obviously there's some I know what the heck they are, and, you know, what they're worth, and there's other ones I'm puzzled. So 1920s and 30s, I'm pretty sure with both of those, but you even have a patent number on the bridge. I just can't. And that's for this one here that looks like the old Gibson headstocks, but slightly different. And that patent number is says patent, and then it says 487. I have not been able to find that useful. Usually they will have a serial number on that wooden stick there that goes down in between. It looks like one was replaced and the other was never marked. So maybe when I remove the rings a little more, I'll find some serial number or something. This one still has two of its original tuners, and look at these gears. I mean, they are truly real gears. They're not like anything we use on our modern instruments. Look at these things. These I can actually bring back to brand new. Rust away. New plastic heads on them if needed. If they don't just clean up. And I gotta have everything here looking sharp. I'm gonna keep the original two, put those towards the top, I guess, or towards the bottom, wherever they fit best, and then I'm gonna have to use two aftermarket ones similar, but try to keep it as original as possible. So yes, this is the headstock I'm talking about. If you know this headstock, please help me identify it. It's done pretty good. Apparently these were just in the closet for the last 20 years. So we already know they're over 30 years old, obviously. They're not full-sized, and they're open backs. So, alright, red roadie sign now. So I'm really excited about what I paid for all of these. You would die if you knew. I got them for pretty much nothing, and they have really minor issues. So, some will be sold, some will be kept. I just want to find out what I've got with the banjos and that particular model there. The other two I already know one's the Washburn, and I'm not sure if it's Chicago made or not, but it looks too modern. And then the one in the back there, it just says made in the USA on the back of the headstock, and it looks to be like a Harmony or something. I will find out, though. That is an unusual bridge shape for me to see. I mean, Gibson had something similar, but not quite like that. I know it's not a Gibson. And the plate, kick guard or kick plate, or whatever you call them, is missing. But I already know it was a Western style, something along the lines of like that, or that it flares out at the end instead of rounds in. So, all right. Anyway, red roadie sign now. Hope you guys can help me. This one particularly, I want to know the model number, and these two, if you can give me any information on how to identify them better. I've given you all the clues I've found so far. All right, signing out. Thanks, guys.